All right, let's talk some offense, which is probably the most important thing for most kids to try to learn. Offense is very important, mainly because you're trying to outscore the opposing team. The one thing about the offensive player that goes unnoticed and certainly not talked about that much is the offensive player has an advantage over the defensive player, mainly because of what? The offensive player knows where he wants to go. The defense is basically trying to guess and limit his options so he can direct the offensive player where he wants him to go. Well, as an offensive player, I'm trying to give you as many options so that the defense doesn't limit your options. What you should always notice is what the defense and how the defense is playing you. And once you notice that, if you have the correct techniques and the fundamentals about an offensive player, you can attack any way that he's playing you as a defensive player. Triple threat is basically what it is. You have three options when you're in that stance. You can either shoot the basketball, you can pass the basketball, or you can drive the basketball. And using those three options, I think you should always articulate what the defense is doing to you. And three moves that I try to utilize and you've seen me use in the years that I played, and I think are very valuable to me, is to attack the defense based on his stance. If I'm attacking, I'm going to use a jab step. And a jab step is a quick step to get the defense to react. And if the defense does not react, then you have a lot of other options that you can go about that. So jab step with your right foot, defense does not react, you go past him, putting the ball here so that the defense cannot get to it. I really don't understand the physics of jumping and how you increase that. The things that I can say that I did when I was a kid to improve my jumping are very basic things. I used to ride the bicycle a lot. I used to work on jump. I used to just try to jump and try to dunk. And I guess if you exercise that muscle to that activity, somehow it's going to improve. How much it improves, no one can really dictate who's going to be the greatest leaper of all time or when the next player is going to be a great leaper. But those are the things that if you work on your jumping to some degree, it's going to improve some. Will it maximize your opportunities? No. I think to be a better basketball player, you don't have to jump high. You just have to be smart in how you utilize the skill that you've been given. Now, the second move of that triple threat situation is called a crossover. And the crossover is strictly just a change of direction. And let me show you exactly the way it should be done. In protecting the basketball, you're jabbing with your right foot, and the defense sometimes react that way, and you want to change your direction. This is what most of the people do that's going to get called for traveling. In jabbing with this right foot, they get so quick, they go this way by moving their left foot, which is your pivot foot. That is traveling in any league. So the correct way to do it is when you jab, now you're going to pick up the same foot that you jabbed with and change directions. And in putting the ball down, good defensive players, if you put the ball out here, have long enough arms. Scottie Pippen, for one, can slap it. Your momentum is going this way and the ball is going that way. Good way to correct that is when you jab, now you change. If you put the ball here, you got protection from your right leg. Your hands should be here protecting the basketball anyway. So now the only way the defense can get to that ball is to go through your arms, go through your legs. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a foul. I say 9 times out of 10 because I could get away with it. But I don't play anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. So, jab step, change the direction this way, putting the ball inside your legs. Now, the good thing about an offensive player is you got to be able to go both ways. You go one way, now you're limiting your options. The defense is going to read that, and then they become more, I guess, have the advantage to try to limit your options. As an offensive player, you never want to limit your options. So, when you're working on that move to do it this way, also do it that way. So now you can have two options. If my man's taking a defensive stance, the thing that I'm looking at right now is he's playing parallel. So now he's playing me to go either way, which is good. Which it also, to me, means all I have to do is give him a nice little fake this way. He's going to think and feel that that's the way I'm going, my change of direction is a little bit better to use when you see a guy with the parallel stance. Mainly because he doesn't know where you're going. So now you have so many options, you just try to use as many options as you can. Now if he had his right foot forward, that to me is saying, now he wants you to go this way. Last thing I want to do is go where the defense wants me to go. I want to go opposite. So this is when now he takes his step that way. The change of direction means he's got to pick up this foot and open, then slide to keep up to you as an offensive player. That takes more time than you taking that crossover and driving to the hole. So you have the advantage in that sense. Now, if he has his other foot up, this is what I was telling you about being able to go both ways. Now you can do the same thing and attack it this way. You see what I mean? So now he can't limit your options. So you should look, before you take your stance, look how the defense is playing you, and then decide which is your pivot foot, your right foot or your left foot, and then attack.